TV here at E3 in Los Angeles. Now, Lauren, I was noticing there's a lot of PC games here that were here last year, like Black and White, but it seems the hot title is Diablo 2.
Yes, this is the year of the sequel.
Diablo 2 is a role-playing game.
Deus Ex is a first-person perspective, real-time 3D role-playing game.
The Sims is basically a real-time strategy game that occurs in the home.
Vampire the Masquerade is a 3D third-person RPG.
Right, Asheron's Call is a massive multiplayer online RPG.
Team Fortress 2 is a social multiplayer action game.
The coming years look to be quite interesting for PC gamers. From the hollowed halls of Ultima to the belligerent battalions of Battlezone 2 and onto the depths of Diablo 2, at this year's E3, it seems that sequelitis is alive and well and will be coming to a computer screen near you.
I think the way that I account for the number of sequels at this year's E3 is that someone's accounting for them. You know, I mean, it's an accounting maneuver.
I think there are always going to be lots of sequels, and that way we're kind of mimicking Hollywood a little bit. One of the games we've seen at Computer Gamer World that's really struck us is Oni. It's by Bungie Software, and it's a third-person perspective title, which means you're viewing the action from over the primary character's shoulder, and you're fighting against up to 4 or 5 other people at a time. It's like a multiplayer Quake, but Tomb Raider perspective.
Vampire from Activision, you know, has caught a lot of people by surprise. Looks really beautiful, has a very gothic sort of feel. Another interesting game is the Star Trek Armada game, which is the first real-time strategy game set in the Star Trek universe. And even though, to some degree, it's a very formulaic, you know, RTS game, it has enough kind of cool innovations and the great Star Trek license, you know, to make it kind of stand out in my mind.
LucasArts has their Star Wars games, and they both have splendid graphics.
Gamers can look forward to the changing PC environment with some long-awaited new titles that are sure to have them running to the store for computer upgrades.
3D graphics is just here with us to stay. It's never going away, right? So you're in these 3D worlds, but ultimately a lot of our controls that we have, our existing controls, keyboard, mice, and even joysticks to a large degree, were never really intended to deal with a 3D world, right? So what you really are dealing with is you need new different ways to approach how you manipulate this character you have in this 3D world, and ways to make movement easier and more intuitive.
With all this flash, what's happening to content and gameplay?
Since the level of graphical quality in games is universally high right now, the game manufacturers are having to really up their game content.
I think in the RPG world, people won't tolerate a game that's all flash and no content. So I think when you see all these great RPGs coming out, they're really more content-driven than a lot of the trends that have come by in the past. So the RPG trend is also a content trend, which is great.
And what can PC gamers expect from developers in the coming years?
Online gaming is back.
I think the biggest trend we're seeing right now is one that started a couple of years ago, but is really picking up steam, which is the online multiplayer gaming.
Well, I think the number one trend that I've seen at this year's E3 in PC gaming is just really the emergence of online-only games. You just didn't have this variety in terms of genres and also this quality in terms of graphics and sort of sophistication in online-only games prior to this year's E3. So I think that it really is a hallmark of what's to come.
So it looks like PC gaming is heading steadfast into multiplayer and online gaming.
Now, we're going to have more about multiplayer gaming later on in the show. Now, if you want to send us any comments or questions, drop us an email or a Vmail at GamespotTV@ZDTV.com.
And if you don't have a netcam, that's okay. Join us in our chat next Tuesday. We'll be giving one away.
Coming up on GameSpot TV's E3 special, we have Star Wars Episode 1 Racer in our E3 intro pick. And we look to the future of PC gaming as we explore the state of online and multiplayer titles.